Hello, hello. I'm a little bit cleaner than the last time you saw me at the end of the 400k. So today's video, I wanted to kind of do a little follow-up to it and kind of share the parts that you didn't see on the ride, and also things that I've learned from it, because there were so many different things that I've learned from that one long ride that will help you if you are wanting to do a similar distance ride or even longer. And they're things that I will take with me from experience of a 400k ride. So I just want to start off by saying that I always try and be as open and as honest as I can in my videos, and just because I didn't film these little bits, I felt like I don't need to feel like I was trying to hide it. I just genuinely didn't feel that great, and it wasn't like I was trying to pretend like I was fine on this whole ride, which is why I'm making the video. So I think the main thing was that I felt quite sick, and I don't know whether that was dehydration, whether I'd not eaten enough. I think it's a mixture of of a few things. And so, yeah, I felt quite sick, which I showed you a little bit of that. But yeah, I generally felt quite sick. And then there was one point along the route where I think we're about 360, 70k in, and it was so hot. It was the morning after, and it was just, I just felt like I felt so sleepy that I couldn't even turn the pedals very well. And I've never had that before, and I started to feel really sorry for myself. I was a bit dehydrated, I was probably a bit hungry, and I just remember having like a little like pity party for myself, and I just started like crying. I feel embarrassed to say it, not full on the crying. We were just riding, and one of the guys was asking me if I was okay, and I was like, yeah, I'll be okay. And I think that's just from, like I say, lack of sleep, lack of food, lack of water. It didn't probably only lasted for about 30 seconds, and I could just feel like these little tears dripping down my cheeks. And then I had to remind myself, I can stop this if I want to, but I don't want to. But then at that point, I stopped, and we had a rest and had a drink, had something to eat, and then that perked me up. And I think it's okay to get to that point if you know how to then come back from it. And that's just experience, I think. So that is probably like the main kind of sad part that I didn't film. Not sad part, the part that I struggled the most on was that. And then that's gonna take me into now all the things that I've learned. So the main thing that I learned from doing this overnight ride is that I would plan in sleep stops. And I'm not talking like hours worth of sleep, I'm talking like 10, 15 minutes here and there, because I used to hear people saying that, you know, they went to sleep for 10 minutes. I was like, well, what's the point of that? Genuinely, I didn't realise the importance and how much difference that makes, because when I got to that really sad point where I was like sobbing, I had 10 minutes literally fast asleep safely at the side of the road. It was like a big field. And after that, I just felt fantastic. Like I had something to eat, had something to drink, had a little nap, and I was fine then pretty much towards the end. And I genuinely did not realise the importance of a 10-minute nap. It makes so much difference. So if I was going to do a 400 again or the 600, I will plan in even just like 10-15 minutes of sleep throughout that route. Another thing that I learned was not to eat or drink stuff that you're not used to having. So as you can see in the video, I drank Coke. I think I maybe had 4 cans, and I don't ever have caffeine, ever. Like I generally have carob, I don't really have chocolate because I don't like caffeine, I don't want caffeine. But on that ride I was like, no, I'm feeling a bit sleepy, I'll have some. And it played, I think that's what it was, but I had a really bad stomach, and so I think that was the caffeine. It might have been a mixture of other things, but maybe I genuinely think it was the caffeine, to be honest, because it does generally have that effect if you're not used to having it. So I had a bit of a bad tummy, so I would say don't eat a load of new things that you don't normally have. And equally, I don't really eat crisps either, and that was basically all I was eating. I was just eating crisps and Coke, which I don't ever have, so I think that kind of mixed up my digestion a little bit. That leads me on to my next thing that I learned is try and eat more like regular foods. I think up to maybe 200k that it's okay to kind of have like Cliff Bars and like energy powders and stuff. But anything, I would even say maybe anything over 150k, like you need to eat proper food, and that is what I would do next time. So I would actually take porridge. I'm going to take some like instant porridge oats, you know, like just either either just regular porridge I'm just going to put hot water on at services or whatever, or like that kind of like ready breakfast style, which is just kind of very finely milled porridge, porridge oats, because I feel like I needed something substantial, like not just crap that you get from services. So I would definitely recommend taking some porridge out and then buying actual proper food, so maybe like more fruit, or I don't know, I'll have to keep thinking about that. If you've actually got any recipes or anything good for like something vegan, something like more whole foodsy that I can take, because I just did not feel good eating all that kind of junk because I'm not used to eating it. Another thing that I would do is I would take a tyre or a tyre boot, because as we were cycling, one of the girls on the ride, her tyre had blown and she didn't have either a tyre boot or a tyre. I mean, I didn't have one either. And that kind of like put it into perspective. We are riding a long way, and if you get stuck, you are stuck. So I would actually probably take a tyre, definitely for a 600, I will take a spare tyre, and a tyre boot, or a tyre boot, should I say. So yeah. And then lastly, this leads me on to another part, is make sure you know how to use your equipment, because I bought a new hand pump. I got a flat tyre. Luckily, Paul and Paul were with me, and it's got like a weird end. You have to like screw it on, and I just couldn't get it to work, and I've never used it before. So just make sure that you've had a practice run of like using your equipment. And yeah, that's very important, because I would have been, someone would have helped me, I'm sure they would, but I want to be self-sufficient and self-reliant and not have to ask other people for their stuff or ask for help, which is fine, because Audaxes are some of the nicest people I've probably ever met. But yeah, make sure you know your own equipment. And I think that is pretty much it. They're the things that I didn't show, they're the things that I've learned, and I'm potentially looking at doing a 600. Apparently 600s are easier because you do actually have like a good chunk in the middle where there is like an assigned time to go and sleep for maybe 4 or 5 hours. So we shall see. I mean, don't hold me to it, but that is something I'm thinking about. We shall see. And lastly, I know I've said it before and I've said it on Instagram, but I just want to say thank you, because you people just, I don't know, I can't even speak, because you're just so kind to me and you're so supportive, and you give me like the loveliest feedback and comments and just supportive messages about my riding, and it's just really nice. And I really genuinely appreciate it. I try and respond to every single comment that I get, just because I do really appreciate your time, taking the time out to come and watch and comment on my videos. So yeah, I do appreciate it. So I will see you next time. If you've got any ideas for other specific videos that you want, I'm going to be doing like a lot more on endurance and a lot more on other stuff to do with longer rides. But if there is anything specific, leave it in the comments below, and I will see you next video. But thank you again, genuinely, really do appreciate it.